Greetings, my name is Dean Suhr. I am the president and co-founder of the MLD Foundation. I'm here today to update you on a meeting that was held on June 10th with the Food and Drug Administration in Washington, D.C. We gathered with about 200 patients, family reps, advocacy reps, and some industry and pharma representatives to meet with the FDA under provisions that were established by FDASIA, the Food and Drug Safety Administration Act from 2012, which called for a program called, the renewal of a program called PDUFA, which is the Prescription Drug User Fee Act, which started back in 1992. PDUFA is part of the process where the pharma companies can pay an application fee to get their drugs reviewed, and they cover some of the costs through that application fee. That called for a series of 20 meetings that the FDA was holding called PFDD, Patient-Focused Drug Development. And of those 20 meetings that will be held over the next couple of years, 7 have been held so far: chronic fatigue syndrome, lung cancer, HIV, narcolepsy, sickle cell disease, fibromyalgia, and pulmonary arterial hypertension. Last week we met to talk about inborn errors of metabolism. Uniquely, this was the first time that there was an umbrella meeting of many diseases, and also included rare diseases, of which medical leukodystrophy, of course, is one of those. A couple of other characteristics of inborn errors of metabolism, or IEM as we call them, is that death is often imminent. Many of these diseases affect children. The children die often before their 5th birthday or thereabouts. So it's about 7,000 rare diseases, and under this inborn errors of metabolism, there's several dozen. So we got together with the FDA. There were 2 panels. On each panel there were 5 different presenters representing a whole variety of diseases, and we spoke to the FDA in 2 topic areas. Both areas were about what's important to families, not just what's important to the scientists. The first topic area was with regard to the disease itself and the burden of the disease. What does that really mean to a family and to someone that's affected with the disease? And the second area was focused a little more on the therapies and what are the burdens and the choices that we make with regard to therapies. Some common themes emerged. First was that we were asking for more access. There were a number of trials and studies that are in Europe that are not available in the U.S. for a variety of reasons. Some of those are regulatory, some of those are practical, just in terms of where the research started, and so we were calling for that. There was a common theme that the therapies need to be safe, but efficacy is very variable. We're really looking for quality of life. As long as the therapy is safe, we're willing to trade off that risk-benefit ratio to see if the therapy will work. And again, part of the motivation for that is that these diseases are so rapidly progressing that quite often parents want to give their children just a chance. Other themes that emerged: parents are quite interested in communication. The loss of communication from their loved ones is very important to them. Mobility and overall quality of life. And again, this is a risk-benefit trade-off with diseases that are typically very quickly progressing. We also offered, as advocacy groups, to work with Congress to change the regulations so that where appropriate, again, not forsaking safety, but where appropriate, that we can proceed with therapy assessments. And then finally, it appears, at least from the casual conversation with a number of the presenters and people in attendance, that the 4 hours we had with the FDA just simply wasn't enough. So we're going to most likely self-organize and put together a meeting perhaps later in 2014 where we can spend a full day doing deep dive into a number of issues in this: burden of care, burden of therapy, U.S. versus EU trials, risk-benefit, consent, some of those things, but really spend some serious time digging into that. I'd encourage you to check into the website where we're gathering all of the people together, those that might be interested in such a meeting, and to keep updates on how the FDA might be responding to this PFDD meeting. And the address is easy enough to remember: pfdd.us. pfdd.us. Again, thank you, and we will keep you posted.